you before about your other two books, so I have a little bit of a sense about you, even though we've never met. But I thought at several intervals during the book, Patsy is coming through loud and clear here.
I think you're right. I do think you're right. Someone asked me, are you Patience? And I said, no, I think I'm Mrs. Kelly. But I think some of the things she says, for sure, if you know my voice and you know me a little bit, you can definitely hear those ideas coming through.
Uh-huh, yeah. So it sort of sounds like you're saying, Patsy, that a book, especially a nonfiction book, writes itself in the sense of what happens in the book.
Yeah, for me, writing the novel definitely was like watching a movie. You set the scene, you put the midwife in the scene, someone walks through the door. Who is it? What do they say? What does that mean to her? So it's a little bit like watching a movie in your own head.
Yeah, and waiting to see how it ends.
How it ends. In all three of my books, the ending came to me in my sleep, really. Not exactly like a dream, but I heard the words, and I sat up and wrote them. And it happened about 2/3 of the way through the book. It's moving along like a movie, and suddenly I know, here's how the book is going to end. And I almost have to a little bit start back again in the book, because now I know where it's going. Before, it's just sort of unfolding, and then suddenly I know where the book is going to end.
When did midwifery become its own discipline?
Not too long after the book begins. Around in the 30s, a few midwifery schools were started, one in New York, and then the one that many people have heard about, the Frontier Nursing Service, where Mary Breckenbridge started a community of midwives and a school, and they would go by horseback into the mountains to deliver the impoverished farmers and wives' babies. Patience in the book is unable to go to a school. She's not a nurse, and really her training has just been an apprenticeship. But the model of midwifery in the United States is quite different than that in Canada and in Europe and England. They always did have schools. And because our country was kind of a pioneer country, the midwives were really the women who maybe had a few babies or seen somebody deliver a baby, and they were chosen. And I'm sure for their good sense and their stamina, and because it's a job that requires a lot of stamina. So you'd have to have a pretty hardy soul that was willing to do this. Patience was often called out in the middle of the night.